What really happens when you see through the illusion and step into true awareness? Let me take you to a moment that tore my entire world apart. I was standing at the edge of a cliff. Behind me, a life I thought I understood. A career, a relationship, an identity, everything I had ever believed to be me. And in front of me, nothing. Just an endless void. But this wasn't death. It was something even scarier. It was truth. You see, something had been happening in my life that I couldn't explain. Glitches in reality. People saying things I hadn't told them. Time slowing down. Patterns repeating. And this unbearable sense that none of this was real. At first, I thought I was losing my mind. But I wasn't going insane. I was waking up. And so are you. This video isn't just a story. It's an invitation. You're not here by accident. If you're watching this, it means something inside you is already cracking open. You felt the strange pull, the signs, the whispers. You've noticed the lies of the world don't satisfy you anymore. And you're ready to uncover what really lies beneath it all. But I have to warn you, this won't be easy. Seeing through the illusion, it breaks you. It burns away everything false. But on the other side, something more powerful than anything you've ever imagined. So stay with me. Because by the time we're done, your eyes will never see the world the same way again. It began for me in the most unexpected way. I had everything I thought I wanted. Money, success, influence. I had built a life brick by brick, only to discover I had built it on a lie. Every achievement felt hollow. Every compliment echoed through a void inside me. I was surrounded by people, but I felt completely alone. And then, the dreams started. Every night I would wake up drenched in sweat. A voice would whisper, "Wake up. This isn't real." And every time, my reality would feel less stable. One morning, I touched the mirror, and I swear it breathed. I knew I couldn't keep pretending, so I left. I walked away from everything. Job, apartment, friends, even my name. I wandered across countries. I slept under stars. I meditated for days. I fasted until my bones ached. I begged the universe to show me the truth. And then, it happened. I met her. In a hidden mountain village. A woman who looked both ancient and ageless took me by the hand and said, "You're not here to find anything. You're here to remember." She led me through a dense forest. Blindfolded. "You must lose your sight to gain your vision," she said. When the blindfold came off, we stood in a field of golden light. I could see every leaf shimmer with awareness. The trees breathed. The sky hummed. She pointed at the ground. "This is where you'll die," she whispered. I panicked. "Wait, what?" She just smiled. "Not your body. Your illusion." And that night, it did. The sky cracked open in a thunderless silence. A presence I can't describe poured into me. Not something external. Something that had always been inside me but I had buried under decades of noise. And then came the vision. A flash so bright it swallowed the night. I saw every life I had ever lived. Beggar, king, priest, criminal. I saw the people I love now. In ancient robes. In distant lands. I saw you. Yes, you. Watching this video. And I realized, we are not separate. We are waves on the same ocean. Pretending to be different. But most people never see it. Why? Because they are trapped in the illusion. The illusion that you are your job. That you are your past. That you are your name. Your gender. Your skin. Your pain. Your thoughts. That you are this temporary costume. But what if I told you, you are none of it? You're not the actor. You're the awareness behind the stage. Everything they taught you was designed to make you forget. But now, we remember. And this remembering, it's not a gentle process. It's fire. I started shaking. My body convulsed for hours. I vomited black sludge. I cried for people I didn't even know. Memories not just from this life, but others, flooded in. I had been a tyrant, a healer, a mother, a warrior. I had killed. I had saved. I had forgotten. And now, I was waking up. The woman, this mysterious guide, placed her hand on my forehead and whispered something I will never forget. You were never lost. You were only dreaming you were asleep. But the dream, oh, it's convincing, isn't it? Think about it, how many times have you gone through an entire day on autopilot? How often do you live reactively, instead of consciously? How often do you mistake comfort for peace, distraction for joy, and numbness for safety? This world wants you asleep. Because a person who's awake, they're dangerous. They can't be controlled. They don't buy what they don't need. They don't believe the lies. They don't obey the system. They question everything. And so the illusion is enforced. Through fear. Through shame. Through the endless chase of more. More money. More validation. More dopamine. But here's the truth, you already are everything you've been seeking. Right now. You just haven't seen through the veil yet. But that veil, it's thinner than you think. It can be ripped away in an instant. And when it is, you'll realize something so wild, so shocking, so soul-shattering, that you'll never go back to sleep again. And in the next segment, I'll tell you exactly what that one moment was that shattered the veil for me forever. It wasn't a metaphor. It wasn't a thought. It was a real event. And it changed my life in a way that still sends chills down my spine. Trust me, you won't believe what happened next. The night the sky opened and everything I believed was erased in one breath. I was lying on my back, staring at a sky so clear it felt like glass. The village was asleep. Not a single sound. No crickets. No wind. Not even my breath. Everything was frozen. And then it happened. A line of light split the sky. Not like lightning. It didn't flash. It opened. It was like the sky had been a painting, and something behind it had torn it in half to peek through. I wasn't dreaming. I was more awake than I'd ever been. And pouring out of that opening wasn't light. It was awareness. Pure, boundless awareness. Not a being. Not a voice. Not even a presence. It was everything and nothing at the same time. And it was calling me. I didn't walk. My body didn't move. My consciousness was being drawn in like a thread being pulled from the center of my chest. And then I was there. But not in a place. There was no space. No time. No separation. It was reality without form. The place before thought. The groundless source. And from within it, I felt every life that had ever existed. Every planet. Every birth. Every death. Every word ever spoken. It wasn't overwhelming. It was home. And I suddenly knew the truth. We are not living life. We are life itself. Do you feel that? This truth can't be understood with the mind. It has to be remembered in the bones. And in that moment, I remembered everything. I saw how every challenge I had ever faced was a perfect setup for awakening. Every heartbreak was an invitation. Every failure, a redirection. Every bit of suffering was a secret door. Even the most painful moments, especially those, were sacred. I saw the face of the man I had hated for years. A man who had betrayed me. humiliated me, stolen from me. And in that space, I saw not just what he did, but why. He was in pain. He was lost. He was acting from the same illusion I had been in. And in one breath, I forgave him. Not because he deserved it, but because I no longer needed to carry it. And when I let it go, something impossible happened. His face dissolved into my own. I realized, there is no other. Everyone we fight, everyone we fear, everyone we love or hate or judge, they're us, in another disguise. And the illusion? It's not that the world isn't real, it's that we think we're separate from it. But we're not. The trees aren't just outside of you, they are you. The stars, the oceans, the dust in the corners of the universe, they're all made of the same thing, awareness in form. And here's where it gets wild. Back in the physical world, my body started doing something I couldn't control. I was still lying on the ground, but I was speaking in languages I didn't know. My arms moved in ancient patterns. My breath synced with something vast and cosmic. The villagers said I spoke a dialect only their elders remembered, a tongue not taught in any school. I didn't speak it. Something spoke through me. The woman, my guide, came to me with tears in her eyes. You're remembering the source, she said. You've touched what most will never dare to look at. I asked her, what is it I saw? She replied, it wasn't a vision. It was the truth that's always been there, beneath your fear. I asked, why me? She looked straight into my soul and whispered, because you were willing to let go of everything to find it. And that's what most people are too afraid to do. They want truth, but they don't want to give up the lies. They want freedom, but they cling to the chains because they're comfortable. But the moment you let go, even just for a second, you create an opening. That's when the real magic happens. And speaking of magic, I have to tell you about the second veil. Yes, there's more than one. You see, after you break through the first illusion, that you are your identity, there's another, even more deceptive one waiting right behind it. It's the illusion of spiritual identity. You start to think, I'm awake now, I'm enlightened, I've figured it out. And that's where many seekers get trapped. They build a new ego out of spirituality. They wear the robes. They memorize the scriptures. They speak in riddles. They start performing awareness. But it's still a performance. It's just the ego wearing a halo. And the universe? It will destroy that, too. Because truth has no costume. So guess what happened to me after that celestial event? I lost it all again. Not physically, spiritually. For weeks, I felt empty. No visions, no voices, no bliss. Just silence. It was like I had been shown heaven only to be dropped back into the mud. But that silence, that emptiness, it wasn't a punishment. It was an invitation to go deeper, to surrender even the desire for awakening. Because true awareness, it isn't a peak moment, it's not a single flash, it's not a badge. It's how you live, every moment, every breath, every step. Can you be aware right now? Try it. Take a breath. Feel it enter your nose. Let it fill your lungs. Notice how your chest rises. Now feel the space around your body. Who is noticing all this? Who is the one behind the noticing? That's you. The real you. The one that doesn't need a name, a title, or a story. You are not the storm. You are the sky that holds it. You are not the thought. You are the space in which thought arises. And when you live from that place, everything changes. Arguments don't pull you in. Fears lose their grip. Even death doesn't scare you, because you know, there is no end. Just transformation. I once met a child who had never spoken a word. They said he was broken, but when I sat with him, I saw it in his eyes. He wasn't broken. He was watching, fully aware, not needing to speak, just being. When our eyes met, he smiled like he knew me across centuries, and in that moment, I wept. Because I understood. He hadn't forgotten. He was still awake. And I had spent my whole life trying to remember what he had never stopped being. Ask yourself, what have you forgotten? What truths did you know as a child that you traded for approval, or success, or safety? What would happen if you remembered again, right now? If you let go of all the noise? If you stopped trying to become something, and just were? And that brings me to the most shocking, unexplainable moment of my entire journey. A moment that defied all logic. A moment that made me question whether I had ever truly understood anything, until then. And if you thought the sky opening was intense, you're not ready for what came next. Because in the final part of this story, reality didn't just bend. It shattered. When reality shattered and I stepped into the place beyond all time. It happened in the middle of nowhere. No temples, no teachers, no visions, just me, walking along a dusty path in the early morning, after months of silence. I had let go of everything, even the desire to awaken. I had stopped seeking. And that's when it found me. Reality broke open. One moment I was walking, the next, the ground disappeared, not physically, but in my perception. It was like I stepped off the edge of the known world, and instead of falling, I dissolved. Colors melted into sound. Time folded like paper. My body disappeared, and what remained was only presence. There were no senses, no thoughts, just a brilliant stillness. I wasn't in the universe was in me. And in that nothingness, everything made sense. All of it. The pain, the beauty, the endless confusion of human life, the rise and fall of empires, the births, the deaths, the laughter, the wars. It wasn't random. It wasn't broken. It was all a game of remembering. The one, awareness itself, had chosen to forget, to fragment itself into billions of pieces, so that it could experience the joy of coming back together. You and I, we are those pieces. And this game we call life? It's not about getting more. It's not about proving anything. It's not even about healing. It's about waking up. It's about remembering what we truly are, and then living from that place. And let me tell you something that may shock you. There's nothing you need to fix. You don't have to become some enlightened master. You don't have to sit in a cave or chant for hours. You don't need perfect thoughts or a perfect past. You just need to see through the illusion. Right here, right now. The illusion that says you are small, that you are broken, that you are separate from others, that you must earn your worth. That illusion is a lie. Because beneath all of it, you are already whole, already free, already one with everything that is. I returned to the world changed, not in appearance, but in essence. I could feel people's pain without absorbing it. I could sit in chaos and remain still. I could feel joy for no reason. And I finally understood the paradox. You can be fully human, and fully divine. You can laugh and cry and dance and grieve, and still be rooted in the unshakable truth of your eternal nature. And once you've seen that truth, you carry it everywhere. Every interaction becomes sacred. Every moment becomes a miracle. Even traffic, even dishes, even heartbreak. Because awareness is not somewhere else. It's right here. Behind your thoughts, behind your roles, behind your fear. Watching, waiting, ready. And once you align with it, life stops being a problem to solve, and becomes a mystery to live. That's when the real supernatural stuff starts to happen. People began telling me I had changed, that just being around me calmed them. Some claim their pain vanished after a conversation. But I wasn't doing anything. I was just being what I truly was. And that radiated outward. And so can you. This isn't just my story. This is your story. Because you've felt it too, haven't you? Those strange coincidences. That voice inside you. That pull towards something greater. That moment where the world felt too weird, too perfect, too synchronized to be random. That wasn't chance. That was awakening calling you. And now you're here. Not just watching this video, not just listening, but remembering. And I want to ask you something. What are you holding on to that you could let go of right now? What story about who you are is ready to die? What if everything you think is in your way is actually your path? What if the fear, the doubt, the heartbreak, what if all of it is sacred training for the you who's about to emerge? Because on the other side of that illusion is something so unspeakably beautiful. I don't have words for it. But I can tell you what it feels like. It feels like peace that cannot be taken. Like love that doesn't need a reason. Like joy that laughs for no purpose. Like presence so deep that time disappears. Like you are finally home. And once you've felt that, even for a second, you know who you are. You know what matters. You know what to let go of. And you finally stop trying to control everything, because you trust the deeper intelligence moving through it all. So I leave you with this. Right now, close your eyes. Take a deep breath. And ask, who am I, without my name? Without my memories? Without my fears? Who is watching all of this? Feel into that. That presence, silent, steady, infinite. That's you. You've always been this. You just forgot. But now, you're starting to remember. And that's what really happens when you see through the illusion and step into true awareness. You don't become someone else. You become who you've always been. And the world? It doesn't end. It begins. Right now.